UFC 318 Holloway versus Poirier is upon us, guys. You know, I had negative things to say about this card prior, but I looked at the full card today. This card's actually pretty stacked, guys. I'm excited for this card, and I'm excited to go 100% on this card. You know, trust me, I'm the best. Trust me, I'm the best. No, jokes aside, guys. Look at the name value as I scroll down. Look at this guy. Like, look at the familiar faces. Look at the names. Like, brother, look at this. You know. Now it's problem. This is turning into a good card. Ooh, seeing some Africans in this too, you know. Shiba. Unfortunately, though, we got to start off with this fucking... we got to start off with this banger, man. This banger. Carly Judice versus Nicole Caliari. I recognize Nicole. I recognize her because I remember her coming off her loss. Carly is coming off a win. This is low-level MMA. Like, both of them absolutely blow. And it's unfortunate that we're going to kick off a not bad-looking card with women's fights. And, listen, I said I'm going to get 100% on this card, but this does not count on my prediction rate. I will not be putting a parlay on any of these fucking badasses. She looks so generic, too. Like, you know what's scary about a human when they just look generic? Because it means they fight generic, and she would definitely fight generic. I know Kalahari's going to go in there and try to grapple. She grapples in, like, a lot of her fights, even the one she loses. So I know she's going to try to grapple, whereas Carly Judice is going to try to stand and trade. Can Carly Judice keep the beats on her? Maybe. Judice has shot some takedowns of her own as well, so she's not, like, completely lost on the ground. But the main thing here is the height difference and reach difference. Carly Judice is going to be 5'7". Kalahari is around 5'2", 5'3". So that's not going to help her in that aspect. So she's going to have to overcome that reach advantage, 68 inches to 62. That's going to be significant to overcome, but possible. It's going to really come down to if Kalahari can impose her wrestling, and I really don't think she's going to do it effectively. I think I'm going to go Carly Judice. The odds aren't available, but I really don't know. And she's coming off a win, riding momentum. Kalahari's a little bit more experienced, having an 8-3 record, but I'm going to go with the least experienced woman coming off her win because she can wrestle. Her takedown defense is not great, but it's at 70%. But we'll have to see how she does against Kalahari. His only game plan is going to be to wrestle. But I can't trust women whose only game plan is to wrestle because you just might get your ass kicked on the feet. So moving on from that fight, Bruno Ferreira versus Jackson McVey. McVey's making his UFC debut, trying to be... guys, when I talk about the Cowabunga fans, yeah, dude, gnarly, dude. Cowabunga, dude. The Cowabunga fans are backing fucking Jackson McVey. Yeah, dude, like, I was fucking at the surf shop today, dude, hitting some gnarly waves, man. I saw my boy Jackson McVey walk in. The dude was gnarly. He was ready. I'm not a Cowabunga fan, though. He's undefeated. He has a Cowabunga look. He's going against Bruno Ferreira, who's hit or miss in some of his fights. Some fights I look at Bruno, I'm like, why are you fighting like that? Like, scared to engage. Some fights he's just engaging, being a marauder. Bruno Ferreira is the one who needs to show up to beat McVey. Like I said, he might be undefeated so far. He might be 6'4", lanky, you know, good striking, good reach. You know, don't know much about his grappling, so we're going to have to see there. But I don't know how Cowabunga he's going to be in this fight. I don't know how gnarly his performance is going to look. And I just don't think being undefeated in the UFC or outside the UFC holds a lot of weight, brother. Bruno Ferreira's a real, like, I'm not going to say Bruno Ferreira's not a fraud because, like, he's hustled with the stars and, like, tussle with the law. Ferreira has shook his homie hand after they punched him in the jaw, so I don't think he's going to be a walk in the park for McVey. McVey's probably thinking, I'm undefeated. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to use my reach. I'm going to pick him apart. Ferreira's strong physically. He has some heavy hands, so we're going to have to see. Maybe McVey tries to grapple. I don't know. Don't really know too much about him outside if he's just undefeated in the regional scenes. Like, I can't jack that. I can't respect that. We'll see how he just goes. I am going to lean Bruno Ferreira. Odds aren't available. Next up, we got Ryan Spann versus Lucas Brzeski, guys. The last guy to beat Walter Walker, baby. Yes. He's like a mythical character. He's going to be one or two things, guys. One, he's going to have the Paul Craig unicorn-esque win. Like, the Craig win over fucking Magomed. That's how it's going to look. I don't know how good Walter Walker is, but I know Brzeski looked way better than Walter Walker. Walter Walker looks so shit. I wonder if he's actually, because he didn't look good in the Brzeski fight at all. I wonder if it's just like he's catching ankles now, because outside of that, he's going to like fatigue and look shit in the rest of his rounds. But he's going against Ryan Spann, who did look kind of lackluster in his last fight, did get his ass whooped, but it's a close fight in the sense that they're both tall, hard-hitting people, and Ryan Spann is still dangerous in that first round. You know, Spann's going to come in the Superman power, trying to put him away. He's 6'6", long reach. I don't really know who I have in this fight, guys. It's going to come down to endurance, maybe. I feel like I have a weird feeling it could get out the first round, and it could come down to, like, who has better endurance. Spann is such an athlete who just kind of lacks a chin, and like lacks that ruthless aggression. The odds aren't even available for this, but honestly, Spann's not riding momentum. Neither is Brzeski, but Brzeski is a very confident guy knowing he's the only guy to beat Walter Walker. I know he's thinking about that in his head, bro. He's thinking in his head that, yeah, I'm the only guy to beat Walter Walker, man. So I'm going to fucking go in there and beat up Spann. So you never know, but I am going to go Brzeski in this fight. This fight is like, it's hard to choose in this fight because both guys are what I call coin toss fighters. It's a coin toss. It's a coin toss for who's going to win, but I am going to be leaning Brzeski in this one, guys. So I'll respect the opinion because it's not a Mr. Kenny pick, but it's a Mr. Kenny opinion. I'll respect it. Interesting fight here. Jimmy Crute coming off a draw where he clearly won, in my opinion, and Marcin Prachnio. Hope I said that name right. Let me just call him Marcin because I'm going to butcher this and my comments going to try roasting me. Marcin, man. Marcin, the Polish man. He's actually good. I feel like he loses to good oppositions for the most part. It's weird because Crute hasn't won in, like, I feel like years, man. Like, years. I don't remember the last time I saw Jimmy Crute win. Like I said, his last fight I thought he won, but it was a score to draw. But, you know, Australia's starting to come into their own. You know, Jake Matthews last night carrying momentum. You know, maybe Jimmy Crute's going to feel the Aussie energy. But this is such a hard fight to predict, man. Marcin's not going to be a walk in the park, which is making me want to lean Marcin for this fight. He's a big, strong guy at light heavyweight. So I think I'm going to go Marcin. Like I said, I don't really know the odds for this one. It's going to be close, I know. But I am going to lean Marcin in this one. Jimmy Crute's always going to be game. But, brother, I think Marcin dangerous. Maybe a little bit handsome. Okay, maybe not a little bit handsome, but maybe a little bit, intimidating. I don't know, brother. We're going Marcin for the win on the early prelims, and we're going to move on to Adam Fugitt. Fugitt's actually pretty good because when he goes in there, he just says Fugitt and he fights. Versus Islam Dulatov. Chat, Dulatov is having a lot of hype around his name. Yes, he did have a good finish in Dana White Contender Series. He does have good potential. I'll be real. He looks good to me, but like the hype might be a little bit overdone. That being said, I do think he's going to go in there and beat Adam Fugitt. But Adam Fugitt is not going to be an easy fight for him necessarily. So if he's not game and expecting to get rid of Adam Fugitt, like really quick and be like, Fugitt, it's not going to work out the way he wants to. So he's got to come in with a good approach, with a strike. I can't believe that striking landing per minute looks like that because that one fight in Dana White Contender Series. But yeah, the thing about Islam, he's just so well-rounded, bro. You know, maybe this could be another special Islam at welterweight. You know, Islam Makhachev going to win the belt soon. Maybe Islam Dulatov going to show he's ready for this. But I do think Islam's going to be a huge favorite. The odds probably aren't available right now. But yeah, I am going to go Islam. He's probably going to win, probably by finish of some sort. But let's see if Adam Fugitt can just score a fluke, bro. You never know, man. Crazy last name, by the way, bro. He looks like a cowabunga ass dude too. I can't lie. He just has the aesthetic for it. But I got my boy Islam by Smish, today. Outside of the early prelims, you got, oh my god, guys. Fun fact. One of the few fighters who turned down an interview. At least he turned it down, man. And he did it in a funny, like, aura-inducing way. But he's like, fuck, I don't care about media. Gautier is good, guys. He's really special. He's 22. I turned 23, which makes me older than him. So, we're both 6'4", strong, scary, handsome a little bit. My muscle, I think I'm bigger than this guy. He's strong, maybe. I think I smashed him. Jokes aside, it's kind of scary that this 22-year-old's built like a fucking Mack truck deluxe. Robert Valentin, the most recent victim of Taurus Finney no-neck wrestling. He looked embarrassing the Finney fight because he should have won it, but he just has no defensive wrestling. Don't expect Gautier to wrestle him. I do expect Valentin to open up with those oblique kicks he usually does, but he doesn't really have that reach and length advantage over someone like Gautier. I feel like they're going to get into a trading match, and I think Gautier gets it done in a one round, brother. African power. Not Nigerian, but the neighboring country, Cameroon. My Cameroonian brother. I do got Gautier going in there. Beats on him, Dr. Dre. Hands on him, lots of bass. When I say lots of bass, I mean lots of bass. Like, bad. The odds are, why does UFC show no odds? It kind of pisses me off because I want to start thinking of parlays in my head. But yeah, Gautier's going to knock him out in the first round, I'll say. If it goes to the second round, props to Valentin, but his chin's always high. He likes to use his low kicks, but it opens up like straights. I do think Gautier puts him to sleep badly. Gautier, keep your eye on him, guys. Special, he might be the future. Takedown's the only thing I'm worried about with him, but he's not going to get wrestled by Valentin probably. All right. I don't even know why these two are fighting. Guys, Prado has won, I think, both of them together have one fight won in the UFC total. They're on crazy losing streaks. They both suck. Who sucks less? I feel like the Ukrainian or the Argentinian. Prado actually has a win, I'm pretty sure, in the UFC. Wow, this guy just has no win. So I'm going to go Prado, guys. Like I said, this is a battle who's worse. I can't tell you much from either because they're both kind of shit to me. So I'm going to go Prado off of just Argentinian hype. 3 professional losses. Both have the same amount of wins, but even though he's gonna have to get through the reach of Nikolai, I do think Prado probably gonna get it done. So put my money on Prado, brother. Dale, brother. I'm not confident, guy, but I'm confident enough to say this guy suck. They both suck. Oh shit, you know. And now problem, yo, I saw them get in like a bar fight before, guys, and I swear like Allen like pieced him up and Vettori just ate it. It did nothing. Vettori's coming off a loss against Lindsay, which was kind of embarrassing. Lindsay's not that good to me. Brendan Allen coming off his losses, you know, back-to-back losses of Mavov and who's his last loss? Oh, Anthony Hernandez. Hernandez fight was so sloppy. Hernandez actually looked kind of mid on the feet, getting his leg chewed up by Allen. This fight's weird because Allen's kind of shit and Vettori's just durable, you know. And you can't just take down and maul Vettori, which I think Allen's game plan is going to be probably to get the fight on the ground, but it's not easy to do that against Vettori. Vettori started picking it up against the Lindsay towards the latter of the fight, but he just wasn't enough because the Lindsay was just picking the shots a lot better than Vettori. Vettori kind of essentially turned into a punching bag. When Vettori's he's such like a wasted. I don't want to say talent because he's never been talented, but he's got to the point of his career. I think he just doesn't believe in himself, does he? Vettori doesn't actually believe he can win some of these fights against Allen, someone he really should beat. There's really no reason he should lose to Allen, guys. Allen's not that great of a striker and very sloppy. I think Vettori should beat him using his pressure, but I have a gut feeling that Allen's going to get him. I don't know why I have a gut feeling Allen's just going to beat him. You know, maybe it's that Vettori's just losing that confidence of him, like losing that spark. It's going to be a weird fight, guys, for me. It's going to be a weird fight. Like, common sense says Vettori should win this fight, but gut says Allen, but I'm going to follow common sense here. Stylistically, I think Vettori's smothering style and pressure is going to eventually get to Allen after he loses the first round. Allen doesn't have the best endurance. Vettori has a better endurance. You know, tough chin and stuff. So I do think Vettori gets it done. So I am going to go Vettori by points in that fight. We're going to have to see how it plays out, but I do got Vettori. All right. Kyler Phillips and Vincius Oliveira, who has that cool-ass knockout not too long with a flying knee. And coming off a win against fucking Saeed, I believe, where he just kind of put the pressure on Saeed as he fatigued. Kyler Phillips is looking worse as time goes along. You guys know that? Remember that world where the fucking Cowabunga fans like, yeah, dude, Kyler Phillips, future champ, dude. Like, nod your head. Let's hit the mosh pit after this shit, dude. Bro, all those fans are gone. All the Cowabunga-ass believers. He does look Cowabunga, too. I'll give him that. He has the hair for it, you know. That's why he attracts that fan base. But since his last loss specifically, I had no hope in this guy. I did pick against him that fight as well. Oliveira's just very dynamic, and he shows he has more grit and heart than Phillips, who I feel like Phillips sometimes just doesn't have the heart to get him probably some fights. So I'm going to go Vincius Oliveira. This is not even a hard pick for me. I'll be real. It's pretty easy for me. I'm going Oliveira. I think he's just better striker, more dynamic, and if he needs to grapple, he'll get it done. I got Oliveira. We'll see if the fight goes the distance. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes the distance and it's Oliveira winning, but Oliveira is a finisher at heart, so we have to see how the fight plays out, but I got Oliveira probably. All right, main card. This is a good fight because, first of all, Michael Johnson is Michael Johnson. He is the coin flipper. He's the OG coin flip. Any fight's a coin flip. And if he lands on you, brother, dale. For the other people, good night, you know. And Daniel Zellhuber. Haven't seen him since his fucking crazy-ass fight at UFC, was it 300? Was it Mexico? Whatever. The Noche card, I believe it was. Yeah, Zellhuber. He had that fight with Ribovics. Crazy-ass fight. I believe it was Noche card. I could be wrong, but crazy fight with Ribovics. We haven't seen him since then, and I think he needed that time off to, like, let his brain heal a little bit because, bro, that shit was just crazy back and forths. Zellhuber is good. I think Zellhuber is going to probably get it done. He's slightly taller, has a reach advantage. He's a good boxer. You know, the thing is he does take some licks, which is not good to take it against MJ because MJ will put your lights out if you take too much licks. But I do think he's a little bit more well-rounded in general. We don't see crazy grappling from him, but I've seen crazy scrambles from him. You know, he's hard to take down. And I do think the output might be a little bit for Michael Johnson, who might fatigue as the fight is elongated, whereas Huber has Mexicano blood in him. Mexicano heart, Mexicano chin. So even though MJ has the power to chin a Mexican, brother, good luck, brother. That's all I'm going to say. So I got Zellhuber in this one for sure. It's going to be a hard fight, though, because it's MJ. You never know, but I am going to go Zellhuber. Minus 345. Finally got some odds here. Yeah, justified odds. I think MJ's a little bit older, you know, not quite prime MJ. So I do see why Zellhuber is favored to win this fight. Moving on. Okay, this one's actually good matchmaking. Let me tell you why. Danny Gage coming off a Sean Woodson win, which aged really well. I'll be real, Sean Woodson, I remember, I think the stoppage was questionable. Something about that fight was questionable, but Woodson was doing really good. Oh yeah, it wasn't the finish. I think it was the scorecard. I think the scorecards had like Woodson down, even though he was up, which shows me that they just like Dan Ige. So if this is a close fight, they're gonna favor Dan Ige too. Jokes aside, good fight for both guys because now they're going against people similar in height and stature. Of course, Pitbull and Yair. Yair was a lot longer than him. Might not be the tallest person. Where Dan Ige is literally tall and long. So now they're going against people who are around their height. So it's going to make for a more dynamic, explosive fight. That being said, Pitbull has shown me nothing in that Yair fight. Kind of shown me he's a punching bag against people who are longer reach. He's going to be a more game for this fight because they're around the same stature. But of course, Ige riding momentum from Sean Woodson, who was riding crazy momentum prior. I do got Dan Ige winning this fight. I do think he's going to be too much for a Pitbull, who is very good, but just not as seasoned and as experienced as Dan Ige in the UFC level. Brother, UFC level, this definitely mattered, brother. Odds, slight advantage to Ige, which makes sense. It shouldn't be crazy because, like I said, same stature, same fight style, as like kind of, and like, you know, same aesthetic. So we're going to see how this fight plays out. Sure, Pitbull's going to try to wrestle, but Ige is not easy to take down per se. All right, next up, Kevin Holland and D-Rod. Bro, Kevin Holland's coming off momentum. D-Rod's finding his second win too. They're fighting around the same time. But, yo, Kevin Holland, if this is a Kevin Holland fight to win, these are one of Kevin Holland fights to win. He's riding momentum, looking like he's coming back into himself, you know. Coming off that good win. He's showing submission game, you know, against people who like good BJJ. D-Rod's in trouble, man. D-Rod's in trouble because even on the feet, Holland's very explosive and dynamic in awkward ways. D-Rod's a little bit more better at like pressuring you fundamentally and breaking you, but Holland's not easy to do that stuff with. So even if you have Holland hurt too, you get him down, you're in like trouble for like submission attempts, anything. So it's going to be a tough fight for both guys, but I do think I would favor Kevin Holland in this fight a little bit more, simply based on the fact that I feel like Kevin Holland's a little bit more well-rounded than D-Rod, whereas D-Rod's only good on the feet. You know, I don't see much grappling from D-Rod, but either way, if it's a primary striking match too, it's going to be tough to get through Kevin Holland's reach, but I can't see D-Rod breaking him over the course of a 3-rounder. But we'll have to see if it goes a distance because no Kevin Holland fight really goes a distance, let's be real. So I do got Kevin Holland here. Odds not available. I'm sure it's going to be really close, or maybe a favorite is going to be Holland, but I do got Holland. I do believe in the momentum Kevin Holland is riding. It looks like already old bad man. Shits, bro. Paulo Costa is fighting, and he hasn't pulled out yet. It's a Paulo Costa fight week, and he's still in the fight, so this might be good, brother. You know, still seeing Paulo Costa a little bit ready. Coming off a loss, Costa was so good before Izzy humped him. Like, I saw the Izzy hump broke the guy, made him a little bit different. And then Roman Kopylov kind of coming into his own, winning fights I feel like sometimes would be more competitive, that he should be losing kind of. Both coming into themselves. Guys, saying Paulo Costa wins in 2025 is weird. Costa was doing his best when he was on the pressure, when he was a juggernaut Costa. I believe Costa lost that ability. He's backing up against like Vettoris. He's backing up against Sean Strickland's. He's threading their front foot too much now, where I feel like if you're changing your fight style completely opposite, you're never going to win again. I don't know if he's going to come in like old Costa. I just doubt it. I feel like he lost that unbeatable realm of him, like in the Romero fight and stuff, when he actually believed he was the best. He was walking people down. Now he's trying to be too tentative and trying to win point fights when he just can't do that. Like, you're not that kind of fighter. You're not Adesanya. Just because Adesanya can outpoint you doesn't mean you could do it to other people, bro. You're not that. You can't do it to Whitaker. You can't do it to, like, even Vettori. He's going to lose to Kopylov. Kopilov's coming into his own. Costa's just not the same guy, is he, bro? I just don't think Costa gets it done. He's a plus 200, which I know people are going to look at like, yo, what? Paulo Costa plus 200. We're going to put our fucking bank account on that. This is not the same Paulo Costa. Trust me, brother. He's not the best. Trust me. He's not the best. I got Roman Kopylov. You know, I got Chase Hooper. I got Evolution Chase Hooper beating Paulo Costa in this fight for sure. I like Costa, and I really want him back in the win column. Just not the guy for it, eh? And main event of the evening. I actually did not know that was a co-main, but main event of the evening, Max Holloway, Dustin Poirier. I just watched Max versus Ilya back. I will make a more in-detail video about this, by the way, later this week. And I did just watch Dustin Poirier versus BSD and Dustin versus Gaethje, the second one. Max Holloway against the Ilya fight. People kept saying he was doing really good. He was winning. I watched back the fight. Sure, he was landing more volume, but I don't think he was actually beating Ilya. Maybe first round he could argue, but I really think Ilya was doing better work. Ilya was just landing more meaningful strikes. That being said, Max Holloway's kicks and knees are so underrated. People don't actually watch Max Holloway fight. They think it's all boxing. Lately, especially in the Gaethje fight and the Ilya fight, he's a lot more kick heavy. He does these spinning kicks, these low kicks, these like teep kicks, these stomping oblique kicks. and they cause their opponents a lot of trouble. And his boxing combos and his boxing blitz specifically is really good. Dustin Poirier against Justin Gaethje, he would struggle when Gaethje would just explode into a blitz, and Gaethje's a lot more slow and telegraphed in contrast to Max Holloway. Now, people are obviously going to bring up their second fight when Max Holloway went up. I think Max Holloway gained weight the not appropriate way. He looked a lot more fat in the face. His stomach looked like no six-pack, bro. In contrast to the Justin Gaethje fight, he looked a lot more strong and built and like physically ready for 155. In the second fight, it was really like Max Holloway out-volumed him, but when Dustin lands on him, it was more of a significant like effect on Max Holloway. Like when Max Holloway was to get hit, I feel like if I look at like Max Holloway's reaction, he would react so badly and so poorly. It was like I couldn't even look at it. It's like every single time Dustin Poirier landed on him, he would go flying. Whereas when Max Holloway would land on him, Max Holloway would just land a bunch of volume shots, and Dustin would stay in his fucking base. I hated it, I hated it. Like, there was just a significant strength advantage for Dustin Poirier, I feel like, in that fight, in contrast to Max Holloway, who just didn't gain the weight. If you gain weight to be fat, the strength's not going to transfer. If you gain weight to build muscle and be strong, you're going to definitely transfer in a better way. I feel like Max Holloway's going to gain weight the appropriate way. I feel like Max Holloway's going to be strong physically, and I feel like he's going to be a lot more problematic for Dustin Poirier this time around. That being said, Max Holloway's habit of always getting hit and taking damage is not going to serve him well against a Dustin Poirier who does a good job in these dogfights. Dustin Poirier in this dogfight, guys, if you make it a dogfight with Dustin, he makes it ugly. He showed it in the Islam fight. Once he made it a little bit more ugly with Islam, he made it more competitive and back and forth. Where Max Holloway does thrive in dogfights too, but thrives in different ways. I feel like Dustin Poirier thrives a little bit more because when he is throwing in these dogfights, he has a little bit more power than a Max Holloway, so he lands flush on him. That being said, when Max Holloway did put on the weight appropriately against Justin Gaethje, he's showing power in the pocket, putting Justin Gaethje to sleep. Whereas like Dustin was getting put to sleep into Justin Gaethje in the last fight in the pocket with that fucking head kick in the pocket, crazy. But Max Holloway's kicking ability, newfound kicks, obliques, stomps, spinning kicks, with his mix of overwhelming volume and punches could give Dustin Poirier a lot of problems. It's probably going to go the distance, which is a little bit scary for Max. Even though Max doesn't tire and Max moves really well for 5 rounds straight, neither does Dustin. Dustin might slow down, but like if Dustin could just keep Max backing up with that stupid peppermint patty jab he does that he like adds to his combos, it could be a problematic night for Max Holloway. But when I think about this fight logically and like the momentum both guys are riding, even though they're both coming off of losses, obviously losing to Ilya is a little bit different than losing to no, exactly the same. But I feel like out of the recent losses, losing to Justin Gaethje is not the best look, especially because of what Max did to Justin Gaethje. But they're both coming off losses to the pound for pound number one, which is not a horrible thing. But I do think Max Holloway is going to be too much in the volume. I don't know the odds. I hope the odds are available. Probably not though. Max Holloway is a slight favorite. Max is a slight favorite, very slight. Essentially, pick him though. It's going to come down to the strikes landed, significant strikes landed, and the way that he was outlanding Ilya, even though Ilya like had more powerful shots. Ilya speeds a lot faster than Dustin. I feel like Max is going to feel like a lot more relieved going against Dustin Poirier, who's not as fast, but does hit hard, but not as hard or as quick as Ilya Poirier, which makes me think Max Holloway is going to go in there and he's going to beat Dustin Poirier this time around. Trilogy, Dustin Poirier will retire on a loss, man. He's going to retire on a loss. Probably going to try to fight again afterwards. I could just feel that happening. But I do think overall that Max Holloway is the guy to beat Dustin at this point of his career. So I do got Max winning. So I'm going to go Max by KO or points. Yeah, KO or points, because you never know nowadays with Max newfound power. Now for a parlay, if I'm going to make a parlay, guys, I'll do something like this. I'm going to do a guaranteed parlay. All right? Give me Islam Dulatov. Give me Gautier by KO. All right. Give me Vettori Allen going the distance. Boom. Give me Oliveira money line. Zellhuber KO points. Fuck it, Dan Ige KO points. Then we'll go Max Holloway KO points. That's my parlay. I think you should follow that. Everyone I said in that parlay, I really believe they're going to get it done. So you should trust me on that. But that's it for me. Let me know what you guys think about this fight card and these fight predictions down below. We will make a more in-detail video about Max Holloway and Dustin because I have a lot more to say. But that's it for me. Hope you enjoyed and God bless. 2, 3, 4.